Welcome to Da Vinci's Discourse, where the minds of today's most innovative entrepreneurs are unveiled and explored. And my name is Kyle Campbell, your guide on this journey into the depths of the entrepreneurial psyche. So sit back, relax, and get ready to dive into the minds of the greats. This is Da Vinci's Discourse. Yo, so Funk, tell me about yourself, man. What do you do and who do you do it for?
Funk Roberts, a former professional athlete, turned online fitness entrepreneur, online fitness, expert, specifically now for men over 40. So, as I mentioned, I was a professional athlete when I was young. I'm 55 now. So from professional athlete to the corporate world, doing the whole corporate thing. And then, once the internet kind of took off and once I realized that you can, reach more people throughout the world doing, using the internet, using YouTube, it took off from there, and from strength and conditioning for fighters, transitioning to metabolic training, transitioning to now helping men over 40 all over the world completely transform their lives.
Dude, I love it, man. How did you get into it?
Well, so basically, you know, after I retired, I was 30 years old, and I got into the corporate world. So I was working at Dell Computers. I remember that, picking up the phones, answering questions, building computers on the phone.
Really?
And and I remembered it was myself and Steve Proger actually, and we were both 30. So at that time, we were older than most people who were there. They're in their early 20s, right? Because you're just picking up phones, answering phones, and building computers. Now, this was before Y2K. So it's like this is 1999.
Mm.
So the phones are lighting up all the time. And I remember Steve and I said, listen, man, we're older here. So let's work as hard as we can to go from home sales to business sales to management. I was like, done, we're gonna do this. So we worked every single day, 7 days a week, open to close for a whole month. Both of us did ended up, winning like rep of the month, leasing rep of the month. And then we continued to do that because we just didn't want to stay where we were. And I remember Steve went to business sales and became a manager in like 6 months. I did it in 9 months. And just that work ethic, that I took from playing professional sport just transformed into the corporate world. But of course, I always had my toe dipped into health, like, training. I was always training. A lot of times I would help train the guys that I would play. I played professional beach volleyball and indoor volleyball. So I would always train those guys, plyometrics, all that stuff. I was always into bodybuilding and that sort of thing. So, on the side, I would be doing personal training, which I hated so much. I hated working one-on-one with people. I realized that. Then I started doing boot camps. So I was doing boot camps here. I live in Toronto. So I was one of the first people to do these big, huge boot camps, like 100 people coming in. But I'd have to carry all my equipment to the beach or to the grass. So, I was like, all right, okay, the boot camps are great, but it's okay. But I was doing this aside from my 9 to 5 job and kids and everything else. And then um and then as I kept going through, I started to feel a little bit different. Like my body felt different. And even though I was posting videos online, because YouTube started. So I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I can do something with YouTube. I had a newsletter. So I was working at a place. I had a newsletter, like a fitness newsletter. So people at the corporate job that I was at, they would always ask me questions. Hey, why do I do this? How do I do that? I gotta lose weight. What type of food should I eat? What type of workout should I do? Sometimes we go work out together. But I was changing. My body was changing it because I was at 39 now and I wasn't feeling the same. And I was like, man, something's wrong. Something's not right. Anyways, that had to be my testosterone. So I was going through a lot. Like
Mm.
I didn't realize my T levels were low, but I was suffering from like I had a huge belly. My sex drive was gone. So my girlfriend at the time left me. At the time, I will get to the story of how I came to this, but my girlfriend at the time left me. Like literally walk in, I'm gone because we're not having sex. And that really, really spiraled. I went down a spiral of like, I kind of masked my manhood by going to strip joints and going after
Mm.
hours. Like I lived in that like seedy, sex driven, crazy spot for a long time. And I became an addict because of that. And
Mm.
so aside from that, I started getting injured and my drive was down and my confidence was down. And I didn't, so, and I'm still posting workouts on YouTube. Like I was big and puffy, but I never looked at myself in the mirror. I never like took off my shirt or anything, or I did, but I didn't look at myself in the mirror. And then when I went to my doctor, the doctor's like, "Hey, dude, your testosterone was like 189 nanograms per deciliter. This is like your grandfather." And I didn't, at 39, I didn't, I thought because I was a big guy and because I'm out at the strip joints, my testosterone levels must be huge. And he's
Right.
like, "No, man." And so after he went down all of, this is why and blah, 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 I decided to change everything, change the workouts, change my food, because you can increase testosterone naturally. And I ended up doing that. And with doing that at 40 years old, I literally had a new sense of like, I just felt like I was 20. Like, you know what I mean? I was clean. I was like feeling great. So I went to Thailand. And at that time, I was training Muay Thai because aside from being a professional athlete when I was younger, I also trained Muay Thai, but I couldn't take that on because I'm playing pro volleyball, so I'm traveling everywhere. So UFC started to pick back up again. So now I'm in Thailand training and loving everything. And then when I was in Thailand, I noticed that all the people who were there, the fighters that were there, they were still doing like bodybuilding style training. And I'm like, and I just finished getting a certification in strength and conditioning for fighters because that's really where
Mhm.
I wanted my head to go at. And so I did an ad hoc webinar or seminar at Tiger Muay Thai, which is a place in Thailand. And on the plane back, I said, you know what? I'm going to start a site called funkmma.com, and it's going to be the place for any fighter, whether it's MMA or Muay Thai or wrestling or jiu-jitsu or whatever. They can go there knowing that they're going to get the best workouts. They're going to be from Funk, and they're going to be all workout videos. And that's where I started Funk MMA,
Hmm.
and it took off. Like, I mean, like it literally changed the landscape of strength and conditioning for fighters. And I didn't realize this years later. I was just doing this, right? And so I created a couple of programs and they did really well. And I also created metabolic training. And I started to realize, hey, I can reach more people online than I can doing it one-on-one, even though I was training. I was a strength and conditioning coach at a MMA gym, like the head strength and conditioning coach, like just doing classes, nothing crazy. But the point is, knowing that, oh, I can actually do this online. I walked into I remember walking, I didn't even tell my wife this when it happened, but I walked into I was making six figures. I just finished getting a president's club. So I had high accolades, making six figures, very great job, but that's not where my heart was at, right? Because I would come
Mhm.
home from work and I'd still be doing Funk MMA stuff.
Right.
So finally I walked into my president's office and said, okay, I just want to let you know, I'm gonna leave. I'm leaving, right? And he's like, yeah, I can see that, like he was very receptive. I said, yeah, I mean, it makes sense because everybody in here, including him, asked me about, you know, health and fitness and that sort of thing. So I walked in, literally quit. I had some really good support from them. And then, I mean, when I came home, I told my wife, and she was like, "Well, you better get your ass upstairs and get to work."
Get the business, baby. It's time.
Business. So that's when I kind of just went full throttle and realized that I had to do it full time in order to get the results that, have brought me to where I am today.
Right, man. No kidding, dude. What a fascinating journey. You're a fellow Canadian. Me too, man. I'm up in
Yeah, yeah,
Montreal, so
Toronto.
we're close,
Okay.
dude. Yeah,
Love
yeah,
Montreal. Love Montreal. That
yeah.
was when I lived there for a summer selling tickets for the Juste pour rire, the Just for Laughs.
Oh,
I
no
sold
shit.
Comedy Works tickets for the Juste pour rire. I would go
Huh.
like to different places, go, hey, I got 10 tickets for 20 bucks. Oh, sorry. 20 billets, sorry, 10 billets pour $20. And I would just
Hey, look at you,
selling
man.
those
Tu parles
tickets.
en français.
Un peu, un
Un
peu.
peu. Right on, dude. I fucking love it, man. Hell yeah. I love a fellow Canadian. And dude, where in Thailand did you go, man? I lived in
Uh,
Thailand for a few months. I love it there.
Okay, yeah, yeah, Phuket. So Tiger Muay Thai was the
Ah,
place.
nice. Yeah.
Shillong Bay. So the other side of Phuket, or sorry, the other side of other side of Phuket, which is more Thai. Like everyone spoke Thai there. And when I went there, which was 2009, I want to say 2009, I guess it was my first year there. Yeah, there was like Tiger Muay Thai, which is like if you go there now, it's completely different.
Yeah.
That was just, very, very traditional Thai training. Go out for a 5K run and come back, skip for 20 minutes, then hit the pads, spar, go sleep, and then repeat in the afternoon. So it was very, very Thai. And then every single year after that, I went back. So I went back the next year and fought
Huh.
professionally with my wife. So my wife and I fought on the same card. We both
Wow.
won. we just kept going year after year, and I used to do retreats there. So people from all over the world would come, and I would do a 10-day fitness retreat, but it was more fitness and culture, because you know how amazing Thailand is, right? Like, you
Oh
know
yeah.
how the
Oh
culture,
yeah.
the
Listen.
food, the people. So, and
Yeah.
we love that. That's why we
Mm.
kept going every single year. But we found that whenever we brought somebody and, like, okay, let's go to Big Buddha. All right, let's go to the night market. Let's go to watch fights. Let's go to Croy Lapong. No. There was something that we used to do in November. And so, like, just taking them on all the places that we love, they fell the temples, like, they would love it.
Yeah.
And so the elephant sanctuary, like, all the places
Oh
that we love.
yeah.
So then we're like, you know what, let's do a retreat where they're going to train with the funkster every day, but we're also going to take them and do the other stuff. And man, it was amazing.
Oh
Absolutely amazing.
shit, dude. Yeah, what a
Yeah.
brilliant idea. You tied the two of them together. I love that, man.
All
Hell
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, man, your target audience is generally men over 40. Is that right?
Yeah, right now that's our niche. My
I
niche
love it,
anyway.
dude.
Yeah.
I love it, man. I love it. So, what are some of the top mistakes that you find dudes make at that age?
Oh man, so many. So, like, and it's no fault of a guy in their 40s or 50s or 60s. It's just there's no information. But what generally happens is the body starts to change, right? Because our hormones, testosterone naturally
Right.
decreases 1 to 2% every year. Um, we suffer from sarcopenia, which is a natural loss of muscle due to aging. So it's very difficult to build muscle. And then
Mm,
if you're not doing the right things, and then also our metabolism generally slows down, but that's more lifestyle. And so the struggles are usually, oh man, I got this belly fat I can't get rid of. So I'm going to jump on all kinds of different diets. I'm going to try paleo. I'm going to try keto. I'm going to try vegan. I'm going to try low carb, low fat. And none of those work for us. We need a balanced plate diet that feeds our hormones, feeds our metabolism. But because, we generally at 39 or 40 or 41, when you've just been in your career and with your kids, and there's not a lot of information out there that's targeted to men over 40. It's mostly women, or all these crazy diets, that you're just going to jump on whatever your buddy tells you or whatever your wife's doing. Oh, because you think your wife or your partner wants what's best for you, but they don't know. So you know what I mean? And then if you
right.
go to the gym and look and try to train with a trainer, they're usually younger, they have no clue either. So it's the dieting, like just what diet should I follow? And then that leads to more chronic health issues, like cholesterol issues and heart issues,
Mm,
and diabetes, and of course the obesity, and because of testosterone, their confidence goes down, and their drive goes down, and just a lot of
mm.
changes that happen where their manhood, they literally get stripped of their manhood, because a lot of guys their libido is gone because of that. So nutrition's a big one. The other one's workouts. Like, they just don't know what workouts to do, because if you haven't been going to the gym for in your 30s, and all of a sudden you reach 40 and you're like, I gotta get back to the gym, man. I gotta get back to the gym. And you walk into that gym and you're gonna be like, okay, well, let me just pick up a couple dumbbells. And okay.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know what? Let me sit in the chair and do some,
Yeah.
right. But
Yeah.
you don't know what you're doing, because you haven't done it in a long time.
True.
And most of the time, you just go back to what you used to do, which is like the buys. Okay, let me do chest day and leg day and buy day and all those things. But those don't work for us either, because we don't recover the same way. Our bodies don't recover. We have
Mm,
to get in the gym and well, not you have to be gym. You do it at home, but you need resistance training. It's just total body workouts are usually the best, 3 to 4 total body workouts, and that will
mm.
be sustainable. It's easier to do 3 to 4 workouts than try to get there 5 days a week, right? And then the other thing is just not taking care of the recovery piece, which is sleep, right? So a lot of guys don't get a lot
Ah,
of sleep, and the recovery, like mobility and yoga, is really big in my programming, because
nice.
I have 36 months of programming. So I have to make sure that these guys who are coming in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, they don't get injured. Because the last thing I want is someone to go,
Ah,
yeah, I did that Funk Roberts program, but I got injured. Like when guys go to CrossFit, they go to CrossFit and they're great the first couple weeks, but then their back, shoulder, some type of injury, because it's very high intensity. CrossFit's like a sport. As far as I'm concerned, it's a sport, or for the younger cats, right? Us older guys should not be doing CrossFit unless you're gonna actually compete in CrossFit. I'm just using that as an example. So the mobility piece, the yoga, the Pilates, the stuff that's like not sexy, but man, it's like the game changer. Like, so many guys in my program, they're just like, that's the thing that they highlight the most when they post in I just did the alpha mobility. I just did Veronica's yoga routine. Man, it was tough, but they felt so much better. So not including that and the sleep, and then just the education on understanding how important testosterone is. Like it is our number
Mm.
one male hormone. It's fat loss, it's muscle growth, it's sex drive, it's chronic health, like battling chronic health. It is everything. And when our T levels are low, every estrogen levels are high, so you get more belly fat, and that belly fat's visceral fat, not subcutaneous fat. Visceral fat is the deadly fat around the organs. That's the fat that kills
Ah.
you. And then the
Mm.
man boobs, and then the estrogen, like you just feel very, like you don't feel like yourself, you feel very feminine. Like that's what estrogen is. It's a female hormone. We need a little bit, but too much, it just offsets our hormones. Then there's the thyroid, right? Our thyroid is what, uh, amongst other things, it's what supports our metabolism, our fat burning metabolism. So when you don't eat carbs, like starchy complex carbs, not sugary simple carbs or processed carbs, if you don't eat those carbs, and you're not feeding your thyroid, right? Your body and your body, your thyroid needs that. Your energy needs that. So that's where the carb piece comes in, and so just understanding all the hormone cortisol, right? So we do need cortisol. Like right now, my cortisol, which is a stress hormone, it's like the fight or flight hormone, right? So the cortisol is good. Stress is good, but too much cortisol, right? So when it's here the whole time, when you're stressing about work and stressing
Right.
about your marriage, you're stressing about your kids, you're stressing about Joe Blow on the street over here, you're stressing about what you're reading in your on your phone, you're stressing about freaking CTV news and CBC and everything that they're showing you. Like you're just literally stressed. Like here,
Mm.
then your cortisol levels are elevated, and that's heart disease, that's strokes, that's dementia, that's all of the stuff that kills us.
Right.
So like right now, our cortisol levels are high because we are focused on something. But after we're done this, cortisol levels will drop, everything will be cool, and our hormones will be balanced. So a more understanding on the important, like testosterone gets such a bad rep. Like, you know what I mean? Like being a man and being alpha and you know being masculine gets so much of a bad rep, but we need that because that's the fabric of who we are, right? Like but it's not just who we are as a man, it's our overall health. So those are pretty much the main things. I mean, a lot of guys come into my program. They come in for, no one comes into my program shredded and ripped. Everyone comes in like, hey man, like I've got, I had a stroke, or, I got hip replacement or what have you.
Hmm.
And, what keeps me going and what I do right now is the transformation stories and the before and afters and the changes in their lives and the brotherhood that we have. It's
Hmm.
incredible. Absolutely
I,
incredible.
I know, man. I've seen it. You got like thousands of testimonials from all these guys, man.
Insane. I
It's
know, it's insane.
unbelievable, brother.
I
Yeah,
know, it's
huge
insane.
props
It's
for that,
insane.
man. You're
The
changing lives over there. You seriously, it's massive what you're up to.
I
For real,
appreciate it.
man. Yeah. Let's get into the diet a little bit because
Yeah.
let's say somebody's struggling with, low energy. I feel like that's a common problem that men face right now, especially after COVID, everything, let's say they're struggling with low energy. They're not really feeling like themselves, like you're talking about. What are some of the mistakes they're making in their diet, and how do you think that they can go about fixing that? Then we'll get into the actual workout routine.
Yeah. So I think that not I think with the diet, it's definitely going from one diet to the next, but it's actually a nutrition lifestyle. So what
Ah,
we want is we want to create a sustainable nutrition lifestyle that you can eat that same way for the rest of your life. That's
mm,
literally what you want. And yes, if you want to, you go away 1 week, all inclusive, no problem. But when you come back, you know exactly how to eat. So how do we do that? But we also want to make sure that as much as it's sustainable, we also have to make sure that it supports our hormones, supports our muscle growth, supports our fat loss. So what we do is 3 meals a day. That's it. No more, no less. 3 meals a day, and each meal needs to have it's like a balanced plate. So
mm,
a source of complex carb. So there's complex carbs, which are healthy carbs, and then there's simple carbs, which are the sugar, the processed, all the carbs that are really affecting our health. If so, the complex carbs are extremely important because that's our energy, that's
yeah.
our brain health, and that's the thyroid I talked about, right? The thyroid is our metabolism. So you need to have every plate, we'll just start with a plate. You need to have a source of complex carb, and then you have to have a source of healthy fat.
Give me an
This is
example
another,
of the complex carbs first.
yeah, yeah,
The difference
sure,
between the sugary ones.
totally. So steel cut oats,
Okay.
um, basmati rice, jasmine rice, a sweet potato, a potato, quinoa. Those are the good carbs. The bad carbs are like donuts and pastas and all that shit. Like it's shit. It's shit. I don't know if I can swear here, but
No,
it's
you're
it's
fine, brother. You're fine. You're
yeah, it's
fine.
all the carbs that we shouldn't be eating. We all know the crappy carbs, but
But fuck, man, I love
there's
pasta though, man. I fucking
I
love
know, I
pasta.
know, but and that's it.
God
Like
damn.
I have Italians in my group, and I say I know you love
Yeah.
pasta, but look at where you are right now, right? Where you are right now,
Yeah.
you have that choice. You can either eat pasta for the rest of your life, and you're just gonna your hormones are gonna be shit, and you're gonna feel like shit, and you're
Huh.
not gonna be who you want to be, or you can put pasta aside and have pasta on your guilt-free meals. So get your health back to where you need it. Because remember, this is a lifestyle. I'm not ripping pasta for the rest of your life, because once you transform, then you'll be like, and you're gonna feel it too.
Right.
You're gonna know exactly, because you're gonna be eating a good, healthy, our alpha meals. You're gonna be eating that way, and then you're gonna introduce pasta back, and you're gonna be inflamed. Your back's gonna hurt. Your shoulder's gonna hurt. You're gonna feel
Really?
bloated, and you're gonna
Huh.
be like, I got it now. I got it now.
Mm.
Don't get me wrong. I just had chicken lasagna for my guilt-free meal 3 days ago, because that's my guilt-free meal. And that's a meal that I chose to have, and I'm having it. And I know the repercussions, because the next day I feel bloated. I'm on the toilet because my body's not used to that. But it's a
Right.
guilt-free meal, because I give them guilt-free meals, because you need those times where you can just
Right.
eat whatever you want, and
Yeah,
just
no
kind of,
shit.
it's just
Yeah,
a
yeah,
meal.
yeah.
So that's what I say, and I have a lot of Italians, and that's what I say to them, and they're just like, all right, I guess I'll
Give her a
give it up
shot.
for a while. I'll give
Yeah.
it up for a while,
Yeah.
and they yeah, you know what, and so, and it just gives them more. And yes, you should love pasta, because that's the whole point. Like, pasta is made in the way that, the
Yeah.
pasta sauce and the sugar in the pasta
That's the
sauce.
problem.
Of course
Yeah.
you're gonna, but you won't miss it once you start eating it a different way.
Because
And
it ain't
it's
worth it. It's just not worth
it
it.
is
Once you see the white, it's not worth going back to the black, you know?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. It's definitely not worth it at all. And so healthy fats are next. So
Right.
healthy fats are things like avocado,
Um,
Brazil nuts, grass-fed butter, olive oil. So you need to have a source of healthy fat with every meal, because healthy fats have cholesterol, good cholesterol, and good cholesterol is a precursor to testosterone production. So in other words, when you're in the morning, when hypothalamus kicks off, and all of the proteins and hormones go into play, and testosterone production, the production of it starts, and it gets to the testes. The testes are looking for cholesterol. And if there's no cholesterol, then there's actually no testosterone production. It looks for good
interesting.
cholesterol. There you are. Okay,
Hmm.
let's ignite the switch, and then production happens. If you don't have that, then that's not going to happen. And that's one of the other missing pieces in most men's diets, is healthy fats. But just because it's not something that, again, you would know. Oh, I'm supposed to eat healthy fat. What the frick is a healthy fat? Right? Like, what is a healthy
Right.
fat? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So now there is a health. Now, there's, like I mentioned before, it's like avocado. Eat a lot of avocado. I put olive oil on all my salads. I put a crap load of grass-fed butter on my rice. So you find ways to get the healthy fats in. And then, of course, you have protein, right? Animal protein is going to be your best, highest quality protein, and you're going to have a source of protein. Protein are the building blocks of our bones, our muscles, and all of the metabolic processes that go in our body. So if you want to lose fat, you need protein. If you want to build muscle, you need protein. If you want a good, healthy metabolic um, environment, you need protein. Metabolic health, protein. If you want longevity, it's protein. Because remember, I mentioned that we suffer from sarcopenia, which is a natural loss of muscle due to aging, and that starts in your
Mm.
late 30s. So, and that accelerates when you're in your 50s and your 60s and your 70s. And we do not want that. Like, if you have no muscle, you have no strength. If you have no strength, then you're gonna fall, and and you're just gonna be weak and unhealthy. So protein is key. And good proteins will be like fish, wild caught fish, grass fed beef, organic chicken, whey protein powder, like good quality grass fed whey protein powder. Um, you know, yeah, it's just that would be amongst other proteins. And then we have vegetables and fruits. So vegetables and fruits, or fruits, because it depends on the meal. In the morning, you'll probably have more fruits, but in the afternoon and your third meal, you'll probably have more vegetables. But vegetables and fruits have micronutrients, and micronutrients are the vitamins and minerals and the phytonutrients that our bodies need. Like that's more important than anything because we, it's like the boron and the magnesium and the zinc and the selenium and all of those great vitamins and minerals that you get from vegetables and fruits, right? So every single time you look at your plate, and basically what I say to them is at least have one greens salad a day because greens, like have all of the micronutrients that help with testosterone as well. But every single meal, you should be able to say, okay, there's my starchy carb, there's my protein, there's my healthy fat, and there's my vegetables and fruits. Whether it's a smoothie, if you're having a smoothie, it's the same thing. You put the steel cut oats, the raw steel cut oats into your smoothie as your carbs. You take whey protein as your protein. Then you're going to throw in some berries, maybe some kale, because most people don't like to eat kale, but putting kale in a smoothie, perfect, right? Kale, maybe you're going to put almond butter, perfect healthy fat almond butter. You throw almond butter in there and you mix that up and you have a beautiful smoothie and it's a great meal. So 3 times a day, that's it. And that is sustainable because I travel, my wife and I travel a lot, and we've been able to eat this way. I've been able to eat this way anywhere. Like I can eat this way in Thailand. I can eat this way in Iceland. I can eat this way in New Zealand. It doesn't matter. If I go to a restaurant, no problem. Every restaurant, where are we just now? We were in Sydney, Australia. Every restaurant I went to, I just asked, hey, can I get side of avocado? Even if it's off the, oh yeah, sure. Do you want that sliced? Do you want a half? Do you want a whole? So we can eat like this anywhere, not at a fast food restaurant, but anywhere. And it's sustainable. And so that's why when I introduce this to the guys, there's pushback. Like, are you sure I can eat carbs? Yeah, you got to eat carbs. I still have cravings. That means you have to eat more carbs. Do I have snacks? No snacks. If you want a snack, it's going to be a protein drink, which is just water and protein, because a lot of times we're not getting enough protein. But it's simple and it's easy and it's sustainable and it's the number one thing. You can't out-train a bad diet. So it doesn't matter how many workouts these guys do. If their nutrition sucks, it doesn't matter.
No shit, man. I love that. Yeah, you just brought us through a whole dietary regimen right there, man. No kidding. So what about for breakfast, man? Because I can see a smoothie for breakfast. So you're saying just to have the smoothie for breakfast, maybe with some oatmeal in the smoothie, as long as with some berries, but with some protein powder as well in the smoothie
100%.
for breakfast.
What even a question? Like you need protein. You should actually be eating more protein in the morning. So
Really?
100%. So like for me, my morning breakfast is I cook the steel cut oats. So what I was saying to you was just putting raw steel cut oats into the
Right. Yeah.
But I cook it. So I got my steel cut oats and then or cream of wheat, whatever one I choose. I put a scoop and a half of chocolate protein. I got grass-fed chocolate protein. I'll throw in berries, Brazil nuts, because they're very they're great for testosterone. So Brazil nuts, which is my healthy fat. So my healthy fat is Brazil nuts. Berries, mixture of berries is my fruit. Protein is a protein powder, and the steel cut oats is my carbs. And that's it. And I'll mix it up and eat up. If I want a smoothie, I'd probably do like exactly what I said, because some guys like to have smoothies in the morning, and other times I'll have eggs. I'll take a whole carton of egg whites, boom, crack 2 whole eggs, boom, put spinach in it, put tomatoes in it, have my avocado, and then I'll have Ezekiel bread. Because Ezekiel bread, that's the only bread that you should be eating is Ezekiel bread, not sourdough, not brown bread, not white bread, not all that other crap. It's Ezekiel bread. That's testosterone approved, right? That's a testosterone approved. And that's what you want. You only want to feed your body what's going to help with your hormones. You don't want to dip in anything else.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying the podcast, and I want to let you know that I've got a free book that you can get if you want to tap into more of these resources. And you can get that for free at kylesbook.com. Back to the podcast.
So sometimes I don't generally have smoothies in the morning. I'll just have either the eggs or the chocolate oatmeal chocolate steel cut oats breakfast. Count Chocula, I call it.
All right, man, I like it. And so it tastes good, you know. You're not talking about something that tastes like shit at the end of the day. You're talking about something that's still good, but also
100%.
contributing positively to your hormones, which is
exactly
what you're saying is key. Wow, man, I love it. What about in terms of the let's move from diets to the workout end of it now.
Sure.
because so the diet, you can't out train the diet, but you still have to train, right? So what about the workout end of it? You said 3 to 4 total body workouts per day. I mean per week. Per day might
Yeah.
be a little much. Per
Per day,
week.
probably crushing. Yeah. So per week. So I'm also a metabolic training master, I guess, because I created a certification course for
Okay.
metabolic trainings that thousands of trainers around the world have used because I did that when I first came in.
First of
So
all, what
metabolic,
is metabolic training? Yeah,
yes.
exactly. Yeah.
Metabolic training is like moving from one exercise to the other with little to no rest in between. So for instance,
Right.
it'll be like, okay, exercise number one, you do for 40 seconds, rest for 20. Move on to the next exercise, 40 seconds, rest for 20. So that's basically metabolic training. It's like circuit training. It's like HIIT, but metabolic training is kind of like the parent and everything else kind of lays underneath. There's different types of metabolic, like circuit training, HIIT, all that stuff. But mostly for me, it's metabolic training. So it'll be a full body workout. Most of the times I use functional movements or fundamental movement patterns. So there is a lunge exercise, there's a squat exercise, there's a push, there's a pull. So push meaning like a chest press or what have you. There's a pull like a back row.
Mm.
There's a hip hinge, so some type of a hinge movement, and then core or abs. So I'll create a workout that have at least have those movement patterns because functional, that's called functional training, the fundamental movements, the 6 fundamental movements is important because that type of stuff will transfer into everyday life. Because the other thing that I have to make sure about these guys is that what they're doing in their health at home or in the gym, what they eat needs to help them in life. Like needs to, if they want to go hiking, if they work in construction, if they do other things that, I want them to be able to do all of those things, pick things up, walk upstairs, run downstairs, hike, and all these other things. And having the fundamental movement pattern instead of focusing on like biceps, although we do have workouts that do biceps, instead of focusing on the physical transformation, it's more the fundamental movement
Mm.
patterns. And the byproduct is like, I mean, these guys got 6-pack abs in their 70s. It's oh, you've seen them. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's unbelievable. So they move better, they feel better because it's about every day, right? Like you're only going to be working out for no more than 30 minutes. That's the other thing. With metabolic training, you're not doing the workouts are no more than 30 minutes. In fact, most of them are like 20 minutes. Most of my workouts are 20
Mm.
minutes,
Nice.
but it's intense, right?
Intense
Like the
though. Yeah.
metabolic training is intense. You're doing as many reps as possible for
Yeah.
that time period, and you're not resting for that long. And the reason why that works is because you are uh, metabolic training works because it has something called the afterburn effect or EPOC. So you're training for a short period of time at a high intensity, and then it takes the body like 24 to 36 hours to get back to homeostasis, which is
Wow.
the regular state where we were before we worked out. So what happens during that 24 to 36 hours is the body's still metabolizing, like your metabolic rate is still going, calories are still being burned, right? It's all about the calories in, calories out, people say. Well, that means that even when you're resting, if you can have that metabolic resting rate high, then you're going to continue to burn calories, you're going to continue to potentially lose more fat. So as opposed to doing a cardio, which is getting on a bike or on a treadmill for 60 minutes or 55 minutes. That's actually worse for us because that increases cortisol because you're doing something for such a long time, right? You're
Mm.
doing something at such a low intensity. So the afterburn effect is like an hour because it doesn't take long to get back to homeostasis when you're just, doing this for 60 minutes. And of course, it it eats away at that muscle. It doesn't necessarily eat away at that muscle, but because cortisol levels are increased, and you're not generally doing muscle building workouts, your body's gonna look at the muscle first, right? To
Mm.
as energy, and so we don't want that.
Right.
So those workouts aren't even there. It's generally 20 to 30 minutes. I always include ab or core, because that's another we need to strengthen our abs just in our core just for back safety and overall health, and warm up and stretch. So generally speaking, the workout session is about 40 minutes, 45 minutes when you put everything in place.
I love it, man. Hell yeah. What's something that if it's just one thing that a guy could get? Like let's say there's somebody who doesn't have a gym membership who wants to start getting in shape but isn't yet, like you said, most of the dudes that you start off with in your programs. What's one thing that they could start off by doing? Because when it comes to building a habit that's starting from scratch, you got to work your way up to it. You're not going to go to working out 7 hours a day for 7 days a week. You know what I'm talking about? You got to work your way up to it. So what's the first thing that you recommend a dude starts with?
Well, I think at this point at 40, you got to get a program. Like you have to, like, there's no doing it on your own because doing it on your own generally never worked for however long, and it's
True.
not going to work moving
True.
forward because it's just there's
Mm,
so many things that, and there's so many, like when you do it on your own and you don't have the support, you don't have a program laid out, and you don't have any guidance, it's so easy to just tap out and go back. No, I'm
right.
tired
Yeah.
today.
Not
So you
today.
need
Exactly.
a
Mm.
program. And when you have a program, then you can follow it. Okay, today this is the workout I'm going to do. I can do this from home because a lot of my programs start with body weight stuff, but dumbbells is the key. Like starting your own home gym,
Mm.
that's key. You don't need a gym membership. In fact, most of the growth of my business happened during COVID because because my
Wow.
workouts are all follow along workouts because I understand how difficult it is. Like I said, like you go to the gym and you're walking in, not you specifically, but I see it at the gym. I'm sitting around and I see people, they look like zombies because they just don't know what
Right.
to do. It's not
Right.
their
Right.
fault. Again,
Right.
I don't, it's like I know where you're at, brother. So I don't so during COVID, obviously everything was closed, but I was doing home workouts. I was doing follow along workouts so that all you have to do is click play and I'm going to be there, guiding
Mm.
you, showing you what to do. I'm going to be struggling too. So it's like I'm farting, I'm sweating, I'm swearing, you're swearing at me. Like that's literally how my workouts are. But I did it in the way that, okay, you can do this anywhere. Like I work out right here now at this point because I'm just really, really busy and literally there's hardly any space, but it's the dumbbells that are key. So I would start fortifying yourself with 10s, 20s, 30s. And then as you get stronger, you're going to move up. Not saying you don't have to go to the gym, but you don't need a gym. And then body weight training. But I think that is the number one thing because what also having a program does, it's also joining a program with support because
Right.
probably the number one thing that keeps my guys, like I have 36 months of workouts, right? My program's a 36-month
Wow.
program.
Yeah.
But 1 year to alpha is the first year. And every 3 months, after they hit 3 months, they get a t-shirt, which is just like a milestone t-shirt. It's a big deal actually for them because it shows that they went through that process, right? It's
Yeah.
not just a t-shirt, it's a milestone.
Mm-hmm.
And then they become an alpha OG after 1 year, but then there's another 12 months. And after that 12 months, they become an ultimate alpha savage and they get the coin, the ultimate alpha savage coin. Again,
Yeah.
this is huge because this also means that their testosterone levels are 600 nanograms per deciliter and their body fat's 15%. But throughout, and then
Wow.
they go on to do the um, ultimate savage where they get a ring after 36 months. But what keeps them going is the brotherhood, is the support.
Mm.
Because if you can imagine 4,000 guys all on the same journey, because everyone starts in phase one. Of course, people are going to be in different places, but if you start, doesn't matter who you are, you're starting phase one, then you go to phase two, then you go to phase three, you go to phase four. And imagine you're day number one. You're coming in, you're totally like, oh man, I'm like I'm new to this, I'm scared, like I don't know what to do. Okay, I got the workouts and everything. I'm a little bit intimidated. I go on this Facebook group, I see all these guys here, and then
Right.
and then I just finished the workout, and it was a very tough workout because I haven't worked out in a while. And I post, man, I was just finished workout number one, day one, phase one. Man, it was really tough. You're gonna have a flood of guys in phase
Ah.
30, guys in phase 22, guys in phase 24 saying, no problem. That's awesome. I remember when, because they all remember. I'm getting goosebumps right now. They all remember when they started, right? So
Right.
they know, they're like, dude, don't worry, keep going. And then now you have that brotherhood, you have that support because
Mm.
everyone's on the same journey, everyone has the same mindset. And so that support system, because we don't talk politics, we don't talk religion, we don't, because I have people from all over the world, all races, all religions, and everything. But when we don't talk pop culture, politics, all of that other stuff, um, it's all about helping each other get to where we need to go. So that's
Mm.
the focus. And these guys tell each other they love each other, man. Like I say, these are 40, 50, 60, 70-year-old. These are old OGs, old school guys, right? These are like, like
True.
guys who
Yeah.
usually keep that in. They're not guys who are
Right.
gonna be like, hey, I love you, man. Like those are the ones that kind of, hey, man, it's not these guys, everybody, everyone, because we're all in the same. We don't judge. Like day one, guy comes in, he's gonna be pretty obese.
Mm.
Um, but there's no judgment. It's like, okay, yeah, because we all know that guy, if he keeps going, he's gonna completely transform. So we know that. He may not know, but we know. So the point I'm making is getting a program and an environment that's supportive. It's very, very important because us guys, as we get
Mm.
older, we tend to isolate more. We don't
Mm.
have as many friends as we used to. I'm 55 years old. I mean, I don't know how many close friends. I got to work on this, by the way, but I had a lot of close friends. But as you get older, people leave, people have kids, people have families, and you're moving here and there, and you lose a lot of friendships. Of course, there's
Mm.
guys who do still have it, but when you're in your 60s and your 70s, and when you retire, and you have nothing, because men need purpose. We need a purpose. Our purpose used to be our family, or our job, or our wives, or significant other, our kids. And when our kids leave, get married, you retire from your job, your buddies are dying off because they're unhealthy. Man,
Mm.
your wife leaves you because you may have been unhealthy, you're alone, right? And so being able to connect with people while you focus on your health and rebuilding, or just if you have all that stuff, still connecting with guys on the same wavelength and the same journey is so important. So important.
Dude, yeah, hell yeah, man. I mean, so you're kind of what you're talking about is something that we're all missing in a certain degree in our lives. That connection, that fulfillment that comes from that brotherhood that you're talking about. And
Yeah.
yeah, man. So you're saying that you can it's kind of two birds with one stone because you're getting that community, you're getting that relationship with the people that you are like you because they're doing something similar to you. They have a similar interest than you do. You're getting that connection, but you're also forming a healthier lifestyle, transforming into what you want to become. Yeah, man, it's a killer combination there. What's the difference between somebody who is, let's say, 30 and 50? What is there a difference in terms of the different routines that you would recommend for them?
100%. So a 30, so again, my focus is men over 40, but like a 30-year-old guy probably is just getting so generalizing, but in your 30s, you're just getting your career kicked off. You're probably getting married. You probably have young kids. So that person, that guy wants quick, short workouts,
Mm,
total body short 15, 20 minutes that they can get in. Like that's what
right.
that's all, because they're trying to move up the corporate ladder. They're trying to figure out their new kid that they just had. They're maybe they just got married. So there's a lot of things in the 30-year-old's life generally that's going to be different from a 50-year-old. The 50-year olds, probably their kids are either gone to university or just about to leave. They're in the final stages of their career. Usually it used to be 55 was when you retired, but now it's like 65, whatever. But the final stage of career. So you're looking more for restoring your health, right? Restoring that health. So again, the program is the same, but you could probably do longer workouts. Your routine in your life is a little bit more structured because you've had a career. Your kids are getting
Right.
old, that sort of. So
Yeah, yeah,
you're
yeah.
looking for something more like, I got to get rid of this belly fat. I got to figure out my testosterone levels. I want to build muscle. And then if we even move it to like a 60 to 70-year-old person, they're more on, I want no pain. I want to be able to hike. I want to be able to do things around the house. I want to be able to feel strong. Like it's not the aesthetic piece, right? 20-year-old aesthetics, period. That's all it is. I want to be jacked, huge. I'm going to the clubs. I'm picking up women, picking up chicks. I want to be jacked. 30-year-old, I just need quick workouts because I got my kids. I got this career. 40 and 50-year-olds, they're just like, trying to figure out what's going on with their body. Like their body's
Right.
completely changed.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah. They
whole
got their
life,
life figured out more or less. They got the
hormones,
structure,
yeah,
but now their body's gone to shit because they've been
yes,
focused on their career and their family life and then themselves. Yeah,
100,
exactly.
yeah,
Right. Yeah.
100%, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And so I got to get back to gym. I
Right.
just got a checkup, and my cholesterol's here, testosterone's low. This is there. So now they're like, what's going on? I don't feel the same way. Like
Mm.
that's they're at that point. So the way the what how I treat it is just like all of the stuff that I do will will help everybody, right? Like I only work with men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, but like if a 7-year-old guy in my program, well, I shouldn't say that because they are doing burpees. Somebody today just turned 65 or something and just did 65 burpees, but they're not. I mean, that's great that they can do that, but their focus is just a good quality life, healthy life with
Right.
their nutrition, their recovery, and a lot of times the older guys are, or as they get to a point where you're like, okay, now my body's transformed because the transformation happens in the first year very, very quickly.
Huh.
Like, when they first come in and I'm telling them about them getting six packs, they're like, yeah, whatever. I'm not, listen, Funk, I just want to lose this belly. Okay. Like, I'm not trying to look like you. I just want to lose the belly. 6 months later, Funk, how do I get that six pack? I can see it here. Like, they know. Like, six
Huh.
months later, it's like everything's about the six pack. And now these guys get six packs. So what is it? Well, now it's about biohacking. It's about like, okay, red light therapy, and what do you think about sauna, and what do you think about cold therapy, and what do you think about this? Like, it becomes a little bit more of the longevity piece. But the other thing too, with that group, with that community,
Right.
that tribe, is like they start helping each other, right? So like it's more the group, or we call it tribe. The tribe is more than just that person, because at the end, when they hit their goal and they feel great, they still want to help other guys. They still want to optimize their health. They still want to be part of something.
Yes.
So it's incredible to see, like, guys helping each other and like posting all the time, and helping the new person coming in. It's incredible. It's absolutely
Yeah,
incredible.
man. See, like that's what my next question was going to be. I think you've already answered it to an extent. Is where do you think AI comes into this? Which is an interesting question because you can ask AI to give you a regimen. You can ask it for dietary advice, give it
Mhm.
specifics about you, and have it give you stuff back. But you're saying that, dude, that's not enough because you're still missing that connection, that community, that tribe. That if you're relying on AI, then you're still going to be, like you said, as you get older, you got less friends, and it's going to even contribute to that reclusivity, that kind of lonely lifestyle, and you're asking AI instead of asking other guys. And so you're saying that, yeah, even though the AI might be more knowledgeable than an individual, you're not getting that connection, that familial feel,
Totally.
what do you think about using AI in terms of it?
Yeah, AI in terms of like fitness. I mean, people who, I think still AI is in its infancy in regards to like the amount of people who know. I use AI in my business for specific things to speed specific things up. I've been using AI from the get go because I know that the power that it has.
Yeah.
But for like a regular person to go, okay, I want you to act like Funk Roberts and make me routine. They
Yeah,
still need to know how to do the exercises. I
true.
see my guys doing these because they post their videos, their workouts. I see it. Like, they still got to be able to do the exercise. They still got to
Mm,
be able to figure all that stuff out. So, like you said, it's the connection, right? So
yeah.
that's number one. They got to still figure things out because you
Mm,
can get workouts. I could go to Men's Health and get a workout.
true.
So the workout portion of it is not where AI is going to come into play. The connection portion is seeing
Yeah.
somebody doing it. Of course, we have our coach. I have a hangout every Friday. So we do live. I do my live hangouts every Friday. I have a Mindset Academy twice a month. So again, it's that connection and that growth. The Mindset
Right.
Academy is about growth. The hangout is like 40, 50 guys on, I'm answering questions or I'm ranting or doing what have you, but it's like a locker room. Like, that's what it feels like. It's like people just
Mm,
log on and it's like they feel like I'm in the locker room hanging out with all my guys. Like, that's something everyone looks forward to. And that's that connection. Every single Friday, there's a connection. The Ask Funk, where I answer their questions through video. That's the connection. It's the
mm.
connection to somebody specific. Now, in the future, when AI can clone Funk Roberts, and now it's like Funk Roberts doing the actual workout, at that time, probably we'll see. I don't know. But
But
at
you're
this,
still missing that connection piece, though,
yeah,
dude.
yeah.
It's not going to replace that part of it. And
No,
I
the
think
connection piece is going to be huge. It's going to
And
be
dude, I
massive.
think the one thing that I've gotten out of this conversation, aside from the dietary advice, aside from the specific workout advice that you gave, is that, and this was a surprise to me. The one thing, the most important piece to this is the connection that you get from having a tribe to have your back throughout the process. Because you said something brilliant, dude. You said doing it alone has led you to where you are. And you want to make changes, you need to change that you're not doing it by yourself anymore. You're doing it with a family, you're doing it with a tribe. And I think that's the number one takeaway from this interview, man. Hell,
Yeah,
dude, I appreciate
it,
that, man. Yeah,
no
fuck,
problem.
it's awesome.
It's so important because we have mental health problems for us guys, like
Yeah.
suicide rates for men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, the highest, and
Wow.
successful suicide is actually the highest. And like I mentioned before, we tend to isolate, and we
Mm.
also don't have a place to be vulnerable. And
Ah.
so the reason why when I created the over 40 Alpha Brotherhood and the the Facebook group and our support group is and the no judgment policy, like no judgment and none of that other stuff, is because it's a place where these guys can be vulnerable. Because the other thing about the program is I don't let them off the hook. So if someone in their family dies, if they lose their job, if they move, if anything except that person being on a gurney in a hospital, they should still be able to do this. They should still be able to follow this.
Mm.
Like it may not be 100%, but you should not be a point where 6 months later it's like, oh, where have you been? We haven't seen you 6 months. Oh yeah, this happened in my life, and my wife left me. It's like this is you got to be here throughout that time because this is going to help you get through that. When
Right.
someone like the thing about being a man is that no matter what, as we age, we become the patriarch of our families, whether we want to be or not. Like whether we are sitting on the couch eating Cheetos, watching TV, and we're getting older and older. When shit hits the fan, everyone looks to grandpa, right? Everyone looks
Mm.
like grandpa. What are we doing? If you're still so we have to take on that role, whether we want to or not, but we have to do it in a healthy way. We have to be as healthy as we can. And when someone dies or someone in your family passes or what have you have to be the calm person going, okay, no, everyone else is going to be falling apart. And there's going to be a time to fall apart, 100%. But at that time, okay, we got to, don't worry, I got this. I'll do this. You go over here. Okay, I've got the wake. I've got this. I'm doing this over here. Okay, we got to get the eulogy. We got to do all this stuff, all in the chaos, right? And the only way you're going to be able to do that and not break down, you're like, I can't do this. I can't handle it. It's too hard. Is if you're unhealthy, if you're not focused, and you don't have the support. Because oftentimes, after something like that happens, guys will come in, hey guys, just I haven't posted in 3 days. Like it's like, okay, that's okay if you haven't posted in 3 days, but they're like, yeah, probably haven't seen me in 3 days. This is what happened, and they get it out because
Ah.
most men keep it in.
Mm.
Right? They keep it in, and that leads to a
Right.
host of unhealthy everything. But being able to come and just let it out and not like know that no, oh, suck it up or whatever, that never happens. Like I say, guys, just come in and let it.
Bullshit.
I do it all the time too. Like if I have a rough spot in my life, I'm coming to the brotherhood. And I'm like, guys, just want to let you know this is what I'm struggling with, blah, 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 blah,
Mm.
blah. And you get the support that you need. And you get it off your chest and you get the hey, it's okay to now is the time. You did great in what you did, and now is the time to let it out and you know take your own time to mourn or whatever it is. Whether it could
Mm.
be a loss of job, right? If you lose your job, right? That kind of stuff happens a lot in our brotherhood, and it's like, okay, I lost my job, blah blah blah. Okay, no, no problem. This is just stay in the workouts and get back into looking for a job. Like it's incredible. It's absolute. It's that is the number one thing in the program. It's the brotherhood, 100%.
Wow, man. Yeah. Didn't expect that going into this, dude. I expected it to be more tactical. Like that's what you get out of the program. You do this, do this, do this. But you're talking about no, man. That's a big part of it. But the main part is the community. And you can't get the community without getting into your program, right? If you're above 40 and you're a male and you're wanting to be a part of this brotherhood, how does somebody go about doing that?
Over40alpha.com. It's a $1 trial for 30 days. So I'm
Nice.
going to give. So for $1, you can use and abuse me for 29 days. And if you don't get any results, just Sarah or Marianne will cancel because I don't want money from people. Like I'm not here to steal people's money. That's why I give you a $1 trial for 30 days. Because oftentimes like $1 for seven days or a 14-day trial, but that's not enough. Right.
Right.
I gotta prove to people that I say who I am and we do what we do. And so for $1 over40alpha.com, you get access to everything, but you start in phase one. And yeah, I'm every Friday, join the Facebook group right away because every Friday I do a hangout. And
Mm.
you start to connect with brothers from all over the world. And there's probably someone somewhere around where you are that you can, because these guys meet up with each other too. Like it's
Interesting.
like
Wow.
unbelievable. These
Huh.
guys do meetups.
Look what
We're
you're
doing a
doing,
retreat.
man. You're bringing the people
Oh,
together, dude, from all over the world, and you're bringing them together into a community and in real life where they can actually meet and work out and hang with each other.
yeah.
Man, you're doing something really beautiful, dude.
Thank you.
Seriously.
I appreciate
Wow.
it. Appreciate it.
Man, yeah,
Appreciate it.
100%, dude. Um, So what can they expect over those 30 days?
Just a complete change, a complete overhaul. So, new
Mm.
nutrition plan and
Oh,
kind of
yes.
like, helping you with nutrition. Don't expect you to get 100%. Usually it takes a couple of months to get the nutrition, but I mean, some people get it right away. Follow along workouts. So you get a warm up, you get a warm up, a main workout, you get ab and core and a stretch. And if you have no equipment, then you can use the no equipment workouts. My phone's down there, but they access the website or access it from the app. So very accessible. Yoga in between and just the connection, right? Getting into the group, coaching. You can ask me questions anytime.
Mm.
Ask Funk in the Facebook group. I answer the questions. Like
Wow.
I'm most of the time, like I'm unlike other fitness people, like I'm like 80% inside my brotherhood and 20%. Like you don't see me posting a lot on social on Instagram and what have you. And I haven't really been posting on YouTube either. Like I used to do YouTube workouts every week
Mm.
because I'm more focused internally. We have new people coming in all the time. So I like to be within the brotherhood. And we also have the tribe secrets stuff coming out in a bit too. But yeah, that's really I want results. I want to see these guys get results. And again, it's not, I'm just giving them the blueprint. They're the ones doing the work. But when you can, every day when I go into that group and I see like this, my wife and I are, our communication's much better. I can keep up with my kids. I got a story. I have one story here that brought tears to my eyes. I remember on
Mm.
one of our coaching calls, Phil had taken his son to the park, and there were his son and a couple of other kids on the park, and they were doing the I don't know what do you call it, the carousel, that you spin,
Oh, yeah.
and he decided to take off his shirt because it was hot. He took off his shirt, and he had the six pack. He looked great. And the two other kids that were there were like, "Oh my God, who is that guy? Look at him, he looks a superhero." And his son said, "Oh, that's my dad." I'm gonna cry. And when
Wow.
he looked at his son had so much pride. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It's like,
Man.
yeah, that's my dad. And then you could see like the kids, like, kind of like, oh, that's your dad? Wow, he's jacked or whatever they said. And he was like blown away. Like, he's never had that to see his son look at his father and be so proud of
Mm.
other it's unbelievable. So those are the things like the going to the doctor and they're no longer diabetic or off their mental health prescription. The doctor takes them off because it's better, feeling better, more energy. Those are the things like the relationships, those incredible changes in people's lives are people going back to school, people doing the Alcatraz swim at freaking 60 years old, like never swam, but trained for it, did the swim. Like it's those feats that really make a difference for me, for sure, for sure.
Man, heart touching, dude, for real. Wow. Having your kid look up to you like that and having your whole family look up to you with admiration like that because and also your community, you're doing something that's admirable. That's the not something that a lot of people can do. And that's because they don't have the communities that you're backed by when you're part of the tribe. Hell yeah, man. I love it. Anything else you want to add before we kick this off?
No, man, this has been great. I appreciate you giving this platform. I appreciate what you're doing. This is great. And yeah, man, over40alpha.com. Just go there and get started. You're gonna be welcomed with open arms. And you don't have to be 40. You could be, we got guys in their early 30s in there because they're like, I just want to get in shape. So we got
Right.
guys in their early 30s that are living through to their, late 30s and 40s in the program. So it's great.
What's the top objection that you get? And then how do you answer that objection?
Man, the top objection. I don't know because if it's time, tons of time. If it's man, that's a great question. You know what? That's a great question, and because I'm not in the front and center of people coming in, right? Like
Right.
I don't, because I honestly, to tell you the truth, if you have objections, then you're not ready.
Right.
Ready.
Mm. So
I
that's how
only
you know you're
want
ready when
yeah.
that's how you know
When
you're
people
ready when you don't have objections, when you're ready to
people
get
come
into
in the front
community.
door, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The
Yeah.
the, the objections are all answered on the over40alpha.com page. But in general, it's like if you're ready, you're ready. You're gonna change. And I don't want to have to like prove,
Right.
like
Yes.
there's billions of guys out there who are ready to take to change and ready to
Right.
go. trust, because that's the other thing that people always say in my the brothers, just trust the process. All the OGs, they say to
Mm,
all you guys, trust the process. Don't worry. We went through the same thing. Trust the process. So if you're ready, I'm here. If you're not ready, or you have, all of these ways, just what do you call them? Reservations, like, no, that's too much time. I'll try it. If you're like, I'll try it.
try
Well,
it.
I guess for the
Yeah.
$1 trial, but like when you come in, it's like, no, you're gonna do this. Like, don't just try, because that gives you an out.
Yeah.
These are all the number. Sorry, the biggest thing we do when you walk in though is to establish your why, because the
Mm,
reason why most people don't stick with a program is because they don't have a strong enough why. Like, they
right.
don't have a strong
Mm,
enough reason. Not just, I want to lose 20 pounds, I want to do this. It's got to go deeper than that. And once you have that, then you will be able to work out when you feel tired after work, or when Brenda comes in with the donuts, on the table at work. You're not going to reach for the donuts because your why is much stronger, because your kid looks up to you, or because your
right.
family has diabetes,
Mm.
or what have you. So that generally starts a process. But that is a very good question. That is a very good question. I will find that out.
I
I'm just
like
not
it.
in the front end.
Yeah, no,
Great.
fair enough, dude. Like you said, you're 80% inside of the
Yeah.
program, which is more proof in the pudding that you're actually going to be holding up to your end of the bargain. Hell yeah, man. I love it. Fong, dude, thank you so much for being here, brother. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you very much, Kyle. I appreciate you. Fellow Canuck, baby. Let's
Hell yeah,
go.
baby, let's go.
Thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it.
My pleasure, dude.
All right. I hope you enjoyed that podcast episode. And if you want to get a free copy of my book, go to kylesbook.com and you can get a copy there. I'll talk with you soon.